Hello and welcome to our weekly mailing and the first week back after a long half-term break, and I hope that was a really good rest for your sons and daughters. A busy week here with mini trial exams for our exam years. Just been really impressed by the way that they have approached that. The fundamental question that we have for those trialists is, what have you learned from that process? It's just a shot to nothing. The grades aren't going to stay anywhere, but it is a great learning opportunity ahead of the summer exam. So hopefully that was a useful thing. We'll look forward to seeing all the outcomes. I've got four main things for today. It'll be a bit longer message, so I apologise, but there's just some things to share with you. Firstly, we've got the school musical happening later this term in the first week in December. Legally Blonde is going to be a brilliant night. It's running over 3 nights. There'll be an opportunity to book tickets. We have a small charge for that, and all of the money from that charge goes to a charity which will be designated by the department. And the reason for the charge, just for clarity, is we don't want to have empty rows of seats, which we've had in the past, where people have understandably booked 10 or 12 tickets, and actually on the night only 3 have come. So it's a bit of a commitment, I suppose. So there'll be a small charge for about £5 per ticket. But we hope that's just going to be an amazing evening. Do please come, bring friends and family, whether your sons and daughters are in the show or not. That's Legally Blonde in the first week in December. Whilst we're on a similar topic of events, if you are taking videos or photographs at a school event, please just take care of sharing that on social media and really focus on your own child. We just want to avoid any uncomfortable situations, and there are people in our school who have different arrangements around social media. So please just be aware of that as you are filming your children taking part in events at school. I really want to thank the staff who led the brilliant trips over half-term break. So there was a trip to Namibia, there was a trip to Germany for history and TPE, there was a trip to Switzerland for the physicists at CERN, and then the CU Getaway in Shropshire. And just 2 things really stand out to me is how brilliant a learning opportunity those activities are, and how much some of our pupils grow by being outside of the classroom and in the wild spaces, if you like, of their individual subjects. And some incredible stories. Do look on social media, on our Instagram feed for those. There's a great video, for example, the Namibia trip. But also for those teachers who give up their holiday time to do that, just for clarification, they don't get paid any more for that. It comes because of their belief in that whole education. And it's an exhausting thing taking a trip. I've been on a number and led a number, and you spend your whole day counting, worrying, particularly overseas. You feel a great responsibility for looking after young people in that situation. So just a massive public thank you to all of the staff who gave up their time, both planning it and running it, and also supporting those trips. And then finally this week, you would have noticed, if you live in the UK, the government have been talking about their curriculum and assessment review. And it's been sort of trumpeted as a great big change. And as I've been reading through the report, it just strikes me how much of that we're already doing and have been doing for some time in some situations. So although we've got till 2029 to really respond to that, we are well ahead. And I've just done a quick review over the last couple of days of some of those areas. So Aura C in English, we do drama, we have presentations, we learn poems by heart. It's already right at the heart of our English teaching. Shakespeare too, DCPS in year 8, they do Midsummer Night's Dream. At GCSE we study Macbeth, and at A-level we study Hamlet. So a great serious bit of study going into one of our greatest playwrights. In computing we do a good amount of work, and an increasing amount of work around AI and data. And that's only going to grow as more resources and as our knowledge of large language models, etc., and generative AI develops. In study skills, for many years now, we've been looking at fake news and how do we identify those fake stories. In design, I visited the design studios this morning and walked through the A-level and GCSE groups, and they are already involved in sustainable design, looking at the facilities and the resources that we use. Inclusive design, I saw a bench project that's been designed for people with disabilities. And also the materials, should we use maple wood or oak, was one discussion that I had this morning, and the inclusivity and sustainability of that particular material. So already happening. The recommendation that food education should be called food and nutrition, we've always called it that, so we're ahead on that too. Our science and maths, we are blessed to have specialists in all of those areas, and triple science is something that's available to our pupils already. And then finally in PSHE, I was just caught up this morning with our head of PHHC, Mrs. Tai, about our financial literacy, and we've got a day coming up where our year 9 students are going to be looking at savings accounts and mortgages. We're going to be looking at banking fraud and how to avoid those scams. So all of these things are already really firmly embedded in our curriculum. I suppose that may be one of the joys of being an independent school, and the freedom that gives us to design our own curriculum, and having an amazing group of heads of departments who really lead that work for us. We really are very fortunate indeed. Sorry that was a bit longer than normal, but I hope you have a great weekend.